this is Jamie with Useful Knowledge. So today I'm going to show you how to make honeysuckle jelly. So if you ever ate honeysuckles as a kid or even as an adult, because I still love them, you're going to love this jelly. It tastes a lot like honey with just a little bit of lemon, and it's just got a few simple ingredients. You're going to need 4 cups of loose honeysuckle flowers. You're going to need 4.5 cups of water. You're going to need 4.5 cups of sugar. You're going to need 1 lemon and 1 box of Sure Gel. And we're going to show you exactly how to make it, and then we're going to show you how to can it, so stay tuned. So to find honeysuckles, really any old fence row, things like that out in the country, you can easily find honeysuckles. We've got them all over the place on our property because we've got a lot of old fences and things like that. But what you want to pick is the golden flowers of the honeysuckle. So in this frame here, I've got the white honeysuckle and the golden. The golden one are actually a little bit more ripe than the white one, and that's the one you want to pick when you're making honeysuckle jelly. Okay, some people ask, why do you call these honeysuckle? Well, I'm going to show you here. So if you hadn't done this when you were growing up, it's still a good time to do it. So you take the flower and you actually pull the end of it, and you actually pull that stem out, and you'll see the nectar come out of it. See that nectar? That right there is what's really sweet, and we used to eat when we were kids, and you could sit there and eat them all day. Okay, when you're out picking honeysuckles, you want to pick about 4 cups of loosely packed honeysuckles, and that's about all you need to make your honeysuckle jelly. Okay, once you pick 4 cups of loose honeysuckle flowers, you need to wash them, and not just rinse them. I want you to wash them because there's all types of little bugs, there's all types of just junk that comes up out of these honeysuckles. So you need to wash them really well, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So go ahead and dump them into a pan and just let it fill up with water. Anything like leaves, get them out of there. Okay, once you get this filled up, just kind of press them down, and then just let whatever might be in there just kind of get over, and just go ahead and let that drain out. And now we are going to make a honeysuckle tea out of these and the 4.5 cups of water. Okay, what you want to do first is put your honeysuckles in. And you're going to pour in 4.5 cups of water. Okay, so what we have our honeysuckle flowers, and we have our 4.5 cups of water in this pot, and we're going to make a tea out of this. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to turn it off. We're going to let that steep for about 2 hours as it cools down. Then we're going to strain it, and then we're going to use that tea to make our honeysuckle jelly. Okay, so our honeysuckles are at a boil, and so what we want to do now is just go ahead and turn that off. We're going to let this just cool down and steep for about 2 hours. Now, one thing you notice, the honeysuckle flowers, as you handle them, they're going to start to brown up, and that's okay, don't worry about it, and even as you boil them, they get even more brown. Your honeysuckle jelly is going to turn out really golden, and it's going to really look good, so don't worry about how they look at this point. So let this steep for 2 hours, and we'll be ready to make some honeysuckle jelly. Okay, this is what your honeysuckle flowers are going to look like after you boil them and you let them steep for 2 hours. They turn basically to an olive drab green. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to pour this through a coffee filter, and that's going to strain out all the honeysuckle flowers and give us just the liquid. Okay, we're going to strain this through a coffee filter. So we're done with that, and it gave us right at 4 cups. So we're going to make our honeysuckle jelly out of this tea. Okay, the first thing I like to do is I like to put 7 8-ounce mason jars in the oven at 250 degrees. Okay, we have our jars in the oven at 250 degrees, and we're also going to put 7 mason jar lids and some water here. We're going to turn that on low. That just needs to get warm. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to pour in our honeysuckle tea that we made, and that actually looks really good. We are going to add the juice of 1 large lemon. That ends up being just short of a 1/4 cup. It's not quite a 1/4 cup. And we're going to add 1 package of Sure Gel. And this is just your regular Sure Gel. And if you use the regular Sure Gel, it's all natural. you have to watch some of the other Sure gels, they do have preservatives. So we're going to mix that up, and then we're going to turn it on, and we're going to bring this up to a boil. And we want that to get to a full rolling boil for 1 minute. That's just straight off your Sure Gel type recipes. And then we will add in our sugar. Okay, we are almost to boiling. And as this heats up, you need to stir it quite often. Okay, as you can see, we've reached a full rolling boil. And we're going to let this go for about a minute, stirring it constantly. Okay, this is at a full rolling boil, and it's been going for about a minute. So we are going to add in our sugar. So this is 4.5 cups of sugar. We want to add that in, and then we're going to stir it up. Make sure it gets blended in well. And I use organic sugar. You don't have to use organic sugar. You can use your regular white sugar, and it's going to taste just fine. So we're going to mix this in thoroughly. Make sure there's no sugar clods or anything like that. And we're going to bring this up to a full rolling boil and let it boil for just a minute, and then we're going to can it. Okay, as you can see, we've reached a full rolling boil. So stir that constantly, and you might even have to turn it down. What I usually do on a gas stove is I do turn it down. You do not want it to boil over. Okay, this has been at a full rolling boil for about 1 minute. So we're going to go ahead and turn this off, and then we're going to get our jars out of the oven. And I'm going to show you how that I was taught to can when I was growing up by my grandparents. Okay, we got our honeysuckle jelly ready to be canned. We've got our jars out of the oven. They're very hot. They're at 250 degrees. What you're going to need is you really need a canning funnel, and you need a ladle. I really recommend getting those. It's going to help your canning not be so messy. So we're going to can these up. Bring that right up to the bottom of that canning funnel, and that's going to get it to the top of your jar. Okay, we're just going to do that for all 7 of our jars. So now, what you want to do is you want to wipe your lids. You need to wipe them with a wet paper towel. Okay, and what we want to do next is we want to start putting our lids on. So we'll take them out of the water. I like to dry them with a paper towel. Okay, then you just put a band on each one of these. So all I do is I tighten them, turn them over. Okay, we're going to leave them turned over for 5 minutes. And the old canning books say that that's to kill anything that may have gotten on the lid when it went from the water to the can. So we're going to turn these over, and in about 30 minutes they'll start to seal. Okay, our honeysuckle jelly has been turned over for about 5 minutes. We are going to turn it right side up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let these cool down. It will take about 30 minutes to an hour, and you should start hearing them ping. These will seal, they'll be ready for the pantry. Okay, it's the morning after I made the batch of honeysuckle jelly, and all of our jars are sealed perfectly. Thanks for watching.